All right, good morning, everybody. Good morning, everyone. As you can see, got a little position pre-market. Saw a nice sell-off from the 4-hour bearish order block, so I decided to put a little position on. So you can see already in a slight profit this morning, but we'll go ahead and jump into analysis real quickly here, and then we'll go ahead and get started, guys. But it's good to see everybody in the chat here today. I just got a runner on right now, so this is just one micro runner from this position that I put on a little earlier. So we'll see how far it runs. We got market open here in just a few minutes too, so I'm thinking that this thing may run for this other 15-minute fair value gap down here, possibly deeper into the order block slash this IFEG on the 1 hour, but it may also just stop us at a break even. But I've already took the majority of my position off, so just letting the rest of this run. And I'm probably going to trail stop as well, just in case we get any like slippage off the open here. But as you can see, I've already secured profits down below. Emerald, good morning, good morning. Good to see you, brother. This is actually looking like a good buy opportunity at this point. It's also pretty pre-market too at this point though, so not sure if that's worthy of, taking a stab at. But as I said, I've already secured my profits on this one, so it's good to go. But as we can see here, you guys, we do have a 4-hour fair value gap that we tapped into earlier. We also have an IFEG, and then we ran up into that 4-hour bearish order block. That's where I ended up taking this position. And right now we're just delivering down. Gonna go ahead and mark out London high and London low just so we have it here, guys. Got London high right here. And we got London low somewhere down here. Yeah, I decided to take a little pre-market sell. This 4-hour order block was just getting respected so well. And then we had this IFEG, so I saw it inverting the 15-minute gap. Decided to just take it down here. Now I'm just letting the runner run. I've already secured majority of the profit. So we'll see if it's able to run. I think it's going to start potentially going higher off open just because we're finding some good support there at that fair value gap. But end of the day, you never know. So we'll just see what that runner decides to do for us. It is kind of looking like a good buy opportunity right now, though, if we're able to break some structure to the upside. But welcome everybody who is just joining in. Hope y'all are having a good morning so far. As you can see, we just took London high up there as well. We just had so much confluence on that one. I was like, I gotta at least put a little bit of position on there and see what happens. London low sweep for the pump. Yeah, that is potential thing that we could do. We could just find a little New York continuation here. We also got data lows down here, so we may even sweep data lows with the London low and then kind of price up from there. Okay, just make sure I have the correct low and the correct high here. If this gets much closer to market open, I'm probably just going to choke the stop loss on this runner because I don't want it to be a situation where we just get a huge candle and then I'm getting hella slippage. So if it doesn't make another displacement down in the next, I don't know, 45 seconds, I may just go ahead and choke stop to here to prevent any damages. True, we do have those relative equal lows down there. We're just in a discount level in terms of 15 though, so it could want to buy up from here. And I think I am going to go ahead and choke the stop pretty significantly. Just in case we get a lot of slippage off open, I don't want it to be a situation where I give back some of that profit. I'm going to go ahead and put my final position down there by the relative equal lows, just in case we go down to take those. So we'll see what ends up happening here. Is quite a far target, but we'll see how much volatility we get. If this 15-minute gap gets inverted here on closure too, that'll be another really good sign. So we'll see if that's able to happen. There's about 1:30 left in that one. It's looking good for that so far. We do have an IFEG here, so I'm hoping that doesn't play too much of an influence on price. Looks like we got a 4-hour order block here below as well, so we may want to reach for that eventually. That would actually be good confluence here. Is that lower than that level or higher? It's right about at that level, so I think that's it's a fair place for our runner to have our TP. So we'll see what ends up happening here, guys, but I hope everybody's having a great morning so far. Welcome everybody who is just joining. That is a great place for the bottom tickers. That 4-hour order block is looking pretty nice as well. If we get down there, I may consider starting to look for some buys. See if we can get this run down here off open. I'm going to go ahead and trail slightly more. If this gets inverted right here though, we may be headed up, guys. So if that gets respected, we'll probably continue down. If that gets inverted, we most likely may see a move up. It's not really a place that I'd be too crazy to just go ahead and jump in, but it is a potential possibility. We also have a 1-hour breaker there. So yeah, I'm thinking that's going to start to move up now. And we are stopped on our runner, guys. So that was where got the majority of it. Nice 1-4, nothing too crazy. Very minimal risk on that one. I am tempted to go ahead and hop in a buy here, but I don't know. I don't want to just go from one position to another immediately. But that is looking nice for buys if you're interested, guys. As long as we invert that. If we respect it last minute, it's not looking too good. I'll go ahead and close this. Probably could have put my stop a little bit higher, but as I said, slippage on this trade copier is pretty crazy sometimes, so I would have rather been safe than sorry. It could have also shot way up here and then gave back like $100 on my profit, and that's just not an outcome I was willing to accept. But pre-market position, already in some decent profit. Just going to let it do its thing. We got relative equal lows down here. I'm going to go ahead and mark out that 4-hour order block as well. Can get rid of this as we have a new fair value gap right there. May even reach for the mean threshold of that, depending on how far we want to reach. You can see beautiful delivery off that daily order block from today as well. Really wish I was there to catch the longs off of that daily level. But that ended up happening super pre-market. Forward order block. Nice 1 hour fair value gap down here. Damn, the chart's getting a little crowded. Okay, and we did reach for that final target, guys. So final TP was smashed there. That would have been a crazy one if I wouldn't have partialed at all, but isn't that what we always say? Hindsight is always 20/20. Touching that order block now though, guys. It's looking nice so far. ES not reaching down. Oh, ES is not reaching down. So yeah, we may see some good buy opportunities here, guys. Buys could be incoming. I may wait to see if we reach for mean threshold, but we do have relative equal lows down there too. So if we end up getting an inversion fair value gap of some sorts here, it would be looking pretty nice. The only thing I don't like is we don't have this bearish fair value gap formed yet. So I'd rather see that form first before price reaches up. That way we have a solid draw on liquidity. We may also see a doji candle down here form on the 15 before the actual run happens. The only exception is the fact that we have relative equal lows. So that could be enough liquidity to just send it from here. I'll probably end up sitting out of this one though if this IFVG forms, simply because I took that win earlier in the session. But that is looking pretty nice there, in case anyone's interested. It did not invert yet, guys. It just respected it, so not an inversion quite yet. But yeah, we'll see what this decides to do, guys. We got an inversion gap up here now. We're about to invert this one, it's looking like. We may head lower to the 4 hour order block consequent encroachment though. So we may want to reach for that first. We also have a huge 1 hour fair value gap, keep in mind, guys. And if we reach for consequent encroachment, it lines up perfectly with this other small 15-minute fair value gap that we got here. Price is moving fast today, though. I like it. I like it, guys. Very nice. Welcome everybody else who is just now joining. If that 30-second inverts right now, guys, that's looking pretty good, to be honest. The only problem is we don't have that 15-minute gap yet. So it may want to chop around here for a little bit. But either way, I'm going to put this on just to call it out, but this is not a real trade for me. I'm just waiting to see what it does. It's actually interesting how just by doing this can kind of like make your mind lock in a little bit more versus just watching price. And then it also gives you a chance to like test out the direction of something before you actually put money on. So at this point, I'd be like, that's a no-go as of now. But the 30-second inversion looked good, so if it respects it down here, it may be a go. But at this point, I would demand the 1 minute be inverted first and a 15-minute closure here. I think it's going to come down and sweep this again and then create another inversion. Or it'll just chop around here and invert this on the next 15-minute candle or towards the end of this one. But really, I think it may want to reach for 4-hour order block, consequent encroachment, or mean threshold, sorry. Mean threshold will be down there. But it does not have to. Does not have to. Well, welcome everybody else who is just joining. The second one that I have on here is not a real trade, guys. This is just a little experiment that I'm doing. But that one would have been stopped out. So that's why we demand 1 minute IFEGs, unless it's like a daily level, or unless the 15 is ready to deliver, then 30-second IFEGs, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you wait for the 1 minute, a lot of times it's a lot better. If we get this 5-minute IFEG here too, that's going to be absolutely insane. I'm thinking that's going to want to absolutely rip if we get that. If anybody wants to enter off that 1 minute inversion right here too, that may be a good opportunity right now. 15-minute doesn't quite look ready to deliver in my opinion, but it could rip from here too because this candle is flipping. But a lot of times I like to see a closure first. So I'm going to wait for this to close, and like yesterday, I'm going to wait to see if this gets retested. It may or may not get retested. I may get left behind. But I'm just going to be a little more patient on this particular trade. Nice. Swift, did you end up getting in that? Yeah, that was a really good bottom tick opportunity. Literally respected those freaking relative equal lows to the T. Like, shit is crazy. Check Discord. Let me see the Discord here. I better see some TikToks, Swift. I want to see your TikTok page, bro. Oh, yeah, that's TikTok worthy right there. You should tag pal. Hashtag bottom tick. Yeah, that thing is ripping, guys. W's in the chat if any other one of you guys got in there. If any of you took the bottom tick or the IFEG, W's in the chat, guys. This is one of those instances where it looks like the 15 is going to invert, but then the candle just flips last minute. I am a fan of those positions, but for this particular one, I just decided to sit out. But hopefully some of you guys were able to catch that. And depending on where we go from here, I may even be done for the day. I booked my profit earlier this morning, so depending on if we form anything interesting from here, may conclude my trading for the day, to be honest. Pretty content. Just ran into that 15-minute IFBG as well. We'll see if we get any sort of reaction here. If we do kind of retrace back to here, I may be interested in a 2022 model setup. But with how bullish it is, it may or may not give that to me. So I am accepting of the fact that it could just continue to run without me on this one. But we shall see, we shall see. On NQ, the first 2 1-minute bullish candles inverted. Okay, so on NQ, this was an actual inversion. These two, right? Yeah, I'm assuming these two. Yeah, either way, though, it was a bit too early for me, at least in the 15-minute candle. But like I said, it was relative equal lows and the 4-hour level. And we also had a 15-minute fair value gap. So whenever that happens, you don't necessarily need like super good 15-minute confirmation if it's tipping its hand to you on the lower time frame. Especially with the closures, how well we were respecting on close. But I am going to set up my, trying to figure out a way to set up my NQ chart on the screen and then set up my MNQ chart on another screen so I can execute on the MNQ but have the NQ up for you guys to see, if that makes sense. So in other words, the NQ would be more accurate pricing for me to chart on the stream, but then I would execute on a separate window on MNQ. So by next week's stream or even by tomorrow's stream, I should have that all laid out and formatted for you guys. I was just in a bit of a rush this morning, so didn't have time to chart or to drop all these lines on the other chart. Yeah, or one MNQ and one NQ. And then I can kind of toggle this one for analysis. Or no, toggle this one for analysis. And then I can just have this one for executions. The only thing I wish you could do is have your markings on one chart transposed to another chart. Or at least have it copy and then you can kind of adjust it specifically. That'd be a really cool feature. And as you can see, guys, we have a 15-minute bearish fair value gap here now. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I'm thinking that one's going to get inverted just because we literally took a 4-hour level. But we may retrace to one of these gaps before then. I might be interested in a small buy down here, depending on how well it's able to deliver. But I also don't want to sit through like a position that's going to take more than like 15 minutes to deliver. I'm not really trying to be in a position for like 30 minutes or 40 minutes or anything like that. I'm thinking we could possibly make an all-time high today as well. Potentially be looking at making a new all-time high. Would be interesting to see if we're able to do that. We do have another bearish 15-minute fair value gap up here as well. It's a pretty old gap. Go ahead and draw that bitch out. Still kind of getting adjusted to the concept of like exiting one position and then very quickly being able to flip and execute another. A lot of times I kind of get hesitant after my first win and I'm like, do I want to take that? Like, even if it's super obvious, I'm like, I guess it's good to demand more perfection after you secured profit though. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just I'm slowly progressing to the level where I can just like be like, boom, catch that move, get right out, catch the next move, get right out, catch the next move. Like, I've seen ICT do that a couple times. Obviously, I'm not ICT. He does it like way crazier. He'll do it like 4 or 5 times without a single loss. But even to do it like 2 times would be insane. And to capture the actual full move as well, it's like a different level. You can literally get all of your weeks or months expenses paid for in a single day at that level. But you also have to wait for the ideal day. Like today, the intraday was just so ideal, it's crazy. Like, you can't have a more ideal intraday setup for that, especially because we had higher time frame levels too, like perfect 4-hour order blocks in place. Definitely like a ideal morning setup for me. For real, like that many PDAs stacked and time-based liquidity too. If only every day could be like that. But this is good, like, to save as reference, just so you guys know when you're getting on your charts. Those of you who are just beginning, you know, like what an ideal day looks like versus what an unideal day looks like going in. But I think that'll probably do it for me today, guys. I'm thinking this thing's just going to continue to rip higher. So if you guys got runners on here, I would say you can probably leave those running for as long as you want. You could maybe target the all-time high. We do have a few relative equal highs up here on the 1-hour time frame. And then we have this order block here. So do be cautious of that just in case we want to stop short of the all-time high. You could also target the midpoint of this wick too if you want to on the 4-hour. But if you guys got runners on, if you're break even with your stop, I'd just go ahead and let that shit rip. But I don't see anything really in the next hour or so that's going to be more perfect than this setup or this setup. So probably just going to come back tomorrow, guys. So appreciate you all being here. Have a blessed one. Hopefully you guys were able to catch that buy as well. And we'll be back here tomorrow, guys. For all-time high and beyond, I'm taking one off at the equal high. Yeah, you could take one off there too. And then we might make a new all-time high as well. So you may even be able to hold on past the all-time high if that happens. It looks like we're reaching for that bearish 15-minute gap up there right now, guys. So if we clear that, it's going to be looking super clear. But yeah, guys, I'm out of here. So have a blessed one, everybody. We'll be back here tomorrow morning. And if you're going to continue to trade, be safe, guys. We'll see you on the next one.